The Own Your Intuitive podcast is for the creatives, spiritual entrepreneurs, and light workers in the world. The shining ones who have been told to dim their light and stop believing in magic. I say screw that. The time to rise is now. To bring your gifts out into the world in a big way, creating a business that feeds your soul and your bank account. You are a magical being with the potential to change the world, one human at a time. The time for you to own your intuitive is now. Happy Transformational Tuesday, magical beings of love light. I cannot believe we are here. It is on the final level of your energetic house. We are talking about the place where basically it's the entry into your entire energetic system. Today we are tackling your crown chakra. Now, if you were to place your hand at the top of your head, friends, this is where your crown is. This is the place in which you open up to receive all the goodness that is surrounding you. Now, I say this in this way that we are here to open up to receive all the goodness because sometimes we don't believe that. And I'm just dropping it like it's hot here because sometimes things have been pretty crappy in our lives. And, maybe we've opened up to love and been hurt or, been in a business deal with somebody and they screwed us over. Or, we were cheated on, or our kids did things that far exceeded what a normal child would do. And so we become very hesitant about opening up to receive, because so many bad things have been happening that we just can't handle one more bad thing slipping through the cracks and setting our energetic bodies and beings into a whole other level of chaos and confusion. And so sometimes we, as energetic human beings, believe that it is easier just not to let anything in than it is to open up to whatever it is, good, bad, ugly, learning lessons, joy, happiness, all the different emotions, feelings, and opportunities, because there is no guarantee that when our crown is wide open, that nothing bad will happen. And I'm going to actually kind of guide you through the fact that we have the opportunity to have a really strong conversation with your God, your spirit, the universe, and really direct and ask for what we want in through our crowns. Because let's face it, we don't want to be scared. We don't want to be living in fear that only, crappy things are coming to us. That would be really sad, and it would make for a pretty sheltered life when you think about it, because we would be too afraid to contact people, email people, reach out to new clients, be our own cheerleader for our books or businesses or online programs. We would instead believe that if we were to reach out and do any of these things like that, we would be told that we were rejected for being who we were. And that is a scary thing to think about receiving. So I want today in this podcast for you guys to understand that there is always going to be two ways that we look at anything that comes into our energetic body. And that is as a gift or a lesson. Meaning when, the good things are happening and, you're getting random podcast invites, or you're getting invitations to events, or you're getting, opportunity come through, collaboration or partnerships and things like that. And even maybe meeting somebody at, online or at a restaurant or a bar who asks you out. There are so many different ways to look at this, but there are gifts that are constantly coming in. We can call them miracles even, that in every single moment there is a synapsis or a thought or a sign, a synchronicity occurring in every single moment. Like, miracles are unlimited and they're always available to us if we are open to receiving them, which is the crown chakra. However, sometimes we are meant to be guided into a different space, or, we think we're going in the right direction and the universe is like, I think that we need to shift you a little bit over to the left or to the right. That wasn't the path we had in store for you. We've got to get you back on track. And so sometimes things occur and it feels in the moment like they're devastating or they're overwhelming, or how could this happen to me? But oftentimes when we make it through those things, we can kind of see from looking back, going like, that had to happen in order for this to happen, right? And so there comes a point in which everything that we're receiving is all good. It's all good. Even the stuff that feels hard in the moment is actually part of the gift because there was a lesson that we needed to learn. And so as I sit in my new house today, and I remember only a month and a half ago when we thought we were getting a separate house and we lost that house. And it was the most intense 24 hours of my life because we had put all our eggs in a row, contacted utilities, done all the things to prepare to get the other house. And in the last moment, we lost it. And within 24 hours, we got this one. But the key here is I had to lose the other house. It was imperative that I lost the other house because if not, we would never have gotten this house. And the house that I am in sitting recording this podcast right now is the exact house we were meant to move into. Neighborhood, the aesthetics, the vibration, the frequency, everything about this house is exactly what Jeff and I wished for. And so, in the moment that I was sitting there saying there's got to be a greater purpose for this, there's got to be something. I know that this is for a reason. When we lost the other house, I held true to that. Even in the discomfort, knowing that the universe was, totally involved in making sure that, I was receiving the exact thing that I had ordered. And so, but in those moments, you guys, when, the waves are crashing on us and we're like, this can't be the way it's supposed to be. I want you to be able to see through that discomfort and that fear and that overwhelming sense of victimhood, that there is a greater lesson or a greater purpose or a greater message that if you open up to receive it is really going to show you something pretty spectacular. So I want to go back to the crown chakra and being able to order or to ask for that in which we desire, because I think we get really hung up on this idea that I always say we kind of choose to get on the struggle bus sometimes. Like we buy the ticket and we're like, ching, ching, here I am, going to take a ride. Because in truth, we can simply ask for anything that we do or do not want. So one of my go-to statements, you guys, for my crown chakra, especially in the business and the work that I do as an energy reader, as an energy healer, as a spiritual badass and coach, it really is like, I only want people who are in the same mindset as me to come into my life, into my, vicinity, my energy system and things like that. I'm not looking for trolls. I'm not looking for anyone who is going to try and, argue me out of what it is that I believe in, right? So when I wake up in the morning, oftentimes one of the things that I will say to myself and say to the universe is, please bring me only the people that I'm here to serve today. And that gives me the freedom and the confidence and this beautiful sense of love to just show up fully for every conversation that I'm having, whether it's online, whether it's on the phone, an email, or in any way, because I already know that I specifically asked for only the people that I'm here to serve. So the universe is going to guide whomever, I'm supposed to be having these special conversations with directly to me. Because I don't want to be afraid to think that, that anyone that I'm being in conversation with has an ulterior motive or doesn't have my best interests at heart or won't believe anything that I believe. So I simply ask specifically that only the people I'm here to serve be brought into my sphere every single day. And that gives you and me the freedom to be as authentically ourselves as we possibly can, knowing that we're surrounded with people who love and support us. And that's a very powerful way to keep your crown chakra open. The other thing that I do and that I recommend to all my clients and all humans as, a whole is we have the capacity to put what I call like a bouncer up at our crown chakras. And that means like when I decided to step into this and do internal work with people, I was nervous. I was really hesitant because it was bigger than even I knew. To be a vessel for, spirit to use on the reg, to be able to help other people shift through their internal clutter, I was like, oh my God, are you sure you want me? And they were like, yeah, man, we want you. And I was like, okay, then I'm going to do this. However, I need to know that when I'm opening up to do this work and I'm being the vessel, that nothing is slipping in that shouldn't be in. So I'm going to place a bouncer, and I went right up to God as my bouncer because I figured the work that he wanted me to do was so big that I needed him specifically to really stand at the top of my crown, like with a baseball bat, and like, you know, drive away anything and all things that weren't for my highest good, or for me to be showing up fully as, you know, the conduit for the message that everyone that I work with is meant to have. So, you know, asking for God to be my bouncer. You can ask for, you know, Archangel Michael, Raphael, any deceased past loved ones. You can ask for angels, you know, Hathors, light beings. You can place on top of your crown at your head anyone that will support you in feeling safe to open up to receiving at the highest level that you are meant to receive. You know, somebody that I was working with not that long ago didn't feel comfortable asking for anything angelic or spiritual, and she simply just imagined placing like a big buff bouncer like you would outside a nightclub directly on their crown. And that did it for her. She felt good with that. And that's what I mean, guys. We can simply be in a space to, you know, support and protect ourselves in any way that works for us. And it doesn't have to be difficult, and it doesn't have to be challenging. Simply asking to, you know, bring in only the people that we're here to serve every day creates that freedom and that confidence to show up fully and authentically at your highest vibration without fear, knowing that the universe is working with you to bring you only those aligned with your message and your mission. Placing a bouncer up and making sure that, you know, you fully, because once we place a bouncer, you got that trust thing. We talked about trust last week. You got that trust that that bouncer is there to deflect any negativity or any, you know, bad vibes, energy from entering into your being, because you're placing trust into that higher power. And then on top of that, you know that everything that is coming to you is either a gift or a lesson. And the lesson is a gift in itself, and that you are in co-creation with spirit. And so you know that if something doesn't work out or line up in the way that you were expecting it to, that it must mean that something better is coming, because that's the way the universe works, is that it is directing us to something better at all times, so long as we are not in the fear and the overwhelm and the stress and the belief that we are on the struggle bus and life is meant to be hard. When we release those beliefs and know that everything is at a higher frequency and is guiding us towards our optimal life and our optimal business, then things begin to shift. Right? It doesn't mean that we're not taking action on our goals and our dreams. It just means that we are leaning into releasing the pressure and the stress, and we can kind of let go and give to way easier than expecting to hold it all into ourselves. Because guys, the idea here is once this crown is open, that what you desire from the universe is now able to get in at that top level, the front door, into your being, where it travels down through the crown because you're open to receiving. You now get it through your third eye because you trust, so you don't need to be in your head all the time. You're using your voice as a catalyst for your message. It clearly drops into a heart that is empty from carrying the responsibility from others. You bring it through your solar plexus, where you know you're deserving and worthy, through your sacral, where you confidently declare your message, through all avenues of feminine energy and not needing to be controlled, where it lands in your root chakra, where you are grounded into who you are and who you serve. And that reflection hits like a mirror back up into the sky like a bat signal, and your soul clients can find you from that vibration. So to give you kind of like what the resistance of the crown chakra is, your resistance is believing that bad things are coming to you, which we talked about at the beginning of this podcast. And the other way that you will know if your crown chakra is closed is if you can't receive something as simple as compliments. And I say that because if somebody's saying like your shoes look great, or your makeup's awesome, or I love the way you've done your hair, and even if you're saying thank you, but in your head you're like, they're quacked. They're just off their rocker. They don't mean that. They're just saying that, all those kinds of things. If you can't take a single solitary compliment from those who love you, then I can promise you your crown isn't open. Because our idea of vibration and being in a vibrational communication and connection with others is that we would bring in through our crown into our heart this beautiful love light of the universe, and then we would exhale it from our heart. So say you're the person giving the compliment, right? You're exhaling from your heart kindness, love, affection, whatever emotion that compliment came from, and then you're exhaling it from your heart. And if somebody else's crown is closed, it's just basically bouncing off the top of their head. That beautiful compliment that person is exhaling to you doesn't land within you, right? Ideally, think of like energy as flow and movement. When somebody's exhaling a beautiful compliment to you and you are in that space of openness and gratitude to receive that into your crown, it's not like you have to hold on to it and keep it forever and ever. It like energy moves, it flows. So you inhale that compliment and you say, thank you so much. That's amazing. Oh my goodness. And then I love your shoes too, or whatever it is that you say, but you're genuinely coming from that space of having received it. Then you exhale it from your heart. And then you're in this beautiful infinity sign of energy as energy flows through the crown, into the heart, into the other person's crown, through their heart. And everywhere we go, we create these beautiful little energetic symbols of infinity from into the crown, out through the heart, in through the crown, out through the heart. And it's this beautiful energetic exchange, you guys, of love energy and high vibration. And so ideally, that is what we do when we're putting our energy funnel into place, right? We are legitimately just creating space within each of our 7 energetic floors so that whatever the universe is bringing to us, we have the capacity to have the space within us to allow that receive to make it all the way down to our root and then back up into the universe. It's a really powerful thing, the energy funnel, because it shifts and transforms so many things in your life and business when you are open on all 7 levels. I mean, can we say game changer? Because it's kind of a game changer here, you guys. And as you know, as I've said before, and I will say always and again, having support and help while clearing all the 7 floors of your energetic house is a very important thing, because there's a place where even as a personal trainer, we get to a place of discomfort and we think, well, that's good enough. I don't need to push or go through this any further. And it's always amazing to have support in seeing what you're not willing to see for yourself or don't want to see or want to work through. I've had people that I have worked with personally since 2016. I have never been without some sort of mentor or spiritual coach guiding me through all the planes of working through these floors, because the more we move forward in our life and business, the clearer the floors need to become so that we can hold even more. And if you are looking to explore that, I would love to support you in that in any way that I can. You can send me a message anytime at tamaraarnold.ca, and we can jump on a call and we can see what's going on inside your energetic being and we can have a chat. I would love that. And other than that, you guys, I'm really excited to put all of these 7 podcast episodes together in a beautiful email so you can have them all in one place anytime you need to refer back to what each of these were. I'll be putting that together in the next few days. So if you want to receive that email, just sign up in the link in the show notes to receive all 7 of the Chakra podcast episodes directly to your mailbox in one spot so that you can relate back to them anytime you need them. I do hope you have the most magical day. I love you and I can't wait to explore even more through energy, vibration, and frequency as the Own Your Intuitive podcast continues. Have a most magical day.